Hi there, I'm Tom from Nerds of the West, and today I'm giving you a Kickstarter overview of not one, but 4 different games. This is the Snackbox mini collection from Monkey Mind Games based in Australia, and I'm super keen to be showing off these 4 gorgeous tiny box games for you. These might all come in small packaging, but there is a whole lot of fun packed in here. 4 different kinds of games for you to fill in time between games on game nights or take them away to play whenever you're out and about with family and friends. I'm super excited to show you everything you need to know to decide if these games are right for you and your collection. Before we get any further, I just need to clarify that these are all prototypes. While they do look incredible, it is not the final product that you will get if you back this on Kickstarter. And I have to say that this video has been kindly sponsored by the lovely people from Monkey Mind Games. So with that in mind, well, let's start with Slingshot. Slingshot is a space-themed dice rolling game for 2 to 4 players, and the aim of the game is to slingshot your rocket ship around the course of 9 planets and be the first person to finish the race. Each player will take on one of the 4 characters, Ziggy, Chip, Nova, or Kevin, and their individual spaceship. In Slingshot, you'll be rolling dice and using your character abilities to get around each planet. To pass by a planet, you need to roll dice matching what is shown around its gravitational field. Sometimes there'll be one collection of symbols called a set, and other times there'll be multiple, and you get 3 tries per set. You get 1 dice plus the amount shown for the planet. So this first planet has a set of 4 dice, so you will get 4 dice plus 1, 5 dice maximum available each round. Some planets have multiple sets that you need to beat, and you'll have 3 attempts to complete each set. When you complete all the sets for a current planet, you pass through and slingshot your way onto the next planet and pass the dice over to the next player. Now the game gets a little bit more complicated through the use of these Kylor crystals. Kylor crystals allow you to activate the abilities of your spaceship. Now these might be to hold certain symbols so you can pass through easier, to take extra turns, or to skip a planet if you so wish. These crystals allow you to move through the game at a different pace and to strategize your way around and have a bit more fun. You'll get a crystal if your first roll matches the symbols listed on your card, or if you pass a planet that has a crystal on it, and you'll leave a crystal behind if you ever pass a planet that doesn't have a crystal on it. So it's a little bit of a catch-up mechanic. There is also an advanced version of the game that I highly recommend you play with that adds this lovely asteroid deck. Now asteroids will sometimes be bad, sometimes be good, and sometimes you'll get free crystals, and they work similarly to how your players can generate crystals. If the symbol you roll on your first turn matches what's on the asteroid deck, you will get the benefit or curse of that card, and it just adds that extra little spice to this sci-fi themed game that I think it needs. So through dice rolling, clever crystal use, and a little bit of luck, you will race your way around the planets and be the first one across the finish line. Next up, we have Irukandji, a game for 2 to 3 players all about tile laying and avoiding the dangers that lurk within the depths of the Australian oceans. The aim of the game is to have 2 points at the end of the round, and you will get a point whenever you are the first one back to the beach, or by collecting and safely bringing back this lovely beach ball token. Now I'm going to explain this game backwards a little bit, so stick with me. I'm going to explain how you play, but then I'm going to go back and explain how you set up to play. So on your turn, you will move forwards 1 space in the row that you are currently in, and you flip over any tile that you need to and apply its effects. In this case, I'm going to flip over this tile. It is a right wave, and it's going to push me 1 space to the right. I then flip over and activate any tiles that need to be. If they're already flipped over, they still activate. This is a rip. It's going to push me back 1 tile, which is really unfortunate because now I'm further away from the beach. Now, any of these tiles will only affect me once, so next time I can move safely further onto the rip. Your aim is, of course, to get to the beach first, but you also need to avoid the namesake of the game, the Irukandji. This is an especially deadly box jellyfish, and if you land on the Irukandji tile, you will instantly lose 1 point. There is also a second box jellyfish tile that will lose you points. However, that one has a counter, a wetsuit wetsuit tile. You will have tiles in your hand that will help you counter cards that have a negative effect, or could also give you a positive effect to play them out instead of something else. So play will continue forward with every player moving one space at a time, trying to get the right tiles, move forwards, maybe collect the beach ball, and be the one to get back to the beach first. Now, setting up for this, because all of these tiles here don't exist at the start of the game. At the start, everyone gets dealt an equal amount of tiles. Now, in a 2-player game, there will be a third stack that's just off to the side randomly. In a 3-player game, everyone will be choosing where to put their tiles. You'll be able to have a look and decide, all right, I think I want to start here, and place a tile out. And you know that that tile is going to shoot you forward 2 spaces, so you really want to be the person that gets there. Or maybe, you know, I'm going to be playing third, so I'm going to put out a tile and maybe set up some traps, pushing people around, and you know where the tiles to avoid are. Maybe you have the Irukandji tile, you know exactly where it is and where you don't want to be. So, starting with the first player, someone will put a tile out, the second player can go left or right of there, and then the third player has to fill in that third slot. Then each time you don't have to continue placing in the same space. You can fill in any space until there is 5 columns of tiles in those 3 rows, and then you start to play. So this game is all about setting up those moves, maybe avoiding what you think you need to avoid, keeping the right tiles in your hand to counter the bad tiles that you know you're going to hit. This game has so much replayability in it. You can play to the 2 points, or you can just play to see who gets there first. And once again, there is an advanced version of the game. Everyone will get one of these lovely cards at the start that will give them an extra goal, or maybe an extra effect at the end, like blowing away the beach ball so no one gets those points, or +1 point if you didn't use any flipper or wetsuit equipment. This is a great game to just pull out and smash through a game in 5 minutes, because there are so many great little moments that happen when cards flip over in just the wrong way, but it plays so quickly that you can just jump right back into another game and see if you can do better next time. Next up, we have Chimichangas and Tacos. This is a game for 2 to 3 players, a very quick game all about building huge, healthy, tasty recipes. This is another game where you can play just 1 round or multiple rounds. There is these taco tokens that you'll get if you have the highest score at the end of the round, but once again, you could just play individual rounds and whoever scores the highest score wins. And you score points by building different combinations of meals. There are some simple meals like salads and corn chips, meals with small tortillas like tacos and taquitos, and eventually the El Jefe with every single ingredient in the right order. And that's what's important in this game. You can't just flip over a corn chip for an ingredient and play beans to start. You need to start with a solid base and play your ingredients out in the right order. And any ingredients that you either don't play or recipes that you don't finish will score you -3 points. So you're trying to find just the right ingredients at the right time. So to play this game, you take 2 corn chip tiles every single turn, and you want to find just the right ingredients to kick off your recipe. I've got a big tortilla this time, so I'm gonna play that. Then I've got this fry, and I'm gonna put it back face down, because I might want that later. However, someone else could eventually take it, but I know that I've put that back there. You can also choose to save ingredients. So I might not need this salsa right away, but I might want it to finish off this big burrito. So I'm gonna save that for later and put the small tortilla back. Next round though, I can only take 1 tile, because you can only ever have 2 tiles in front of you. And you always have to put 1 back. When you build your meals, you build up this lovely stack of triangle tokens, and you just keep doing that until all the tiles are gone. And if you don't finish any meals, or you have leftover ingredients in your hand, they will lose you 3 points at the end of the game. It does get a little bit more complicated, which is a running theme with these games. There's a little bit more in every single one with the condiment cards. There is a handy dandy list to help you remember, and you have 3 different condiments: your jalapeno, hot sauce, and sour cream. And each one has 2 different effects that you can use in the game. Some of them will let you add extra ingredients. Some of them will let you eliminate ingredients that other people have played. So there's this constant back and forth between what have you got right now? What can you use? Where have you seen stuff that's going to be handy in a couple of turns time? This is a really visually striking game. There's a great mix of colors on the reference cards and on the tiles and in the ingredients and everything you're playing with. And it's just really nice to see it all laid out on the table and everything being built up This game goes past so fast. You're just picking up tiles and building the best combos that you can while making sure that you never lose out on any points, making sure you never have too many negative points left at the end of the round. There's this really nice push and pull between what do I need right now? I know I'll need a small tortilla eventually, but do I really want to start another recipe right away? It's a really fun, really quick, really easy game. And finally, we have Skate Park, a game all about pulling off sick skateboard combos with dice and a little bit of push your luck. Skate Park is the easiest to learn and quickest to play of all these games. There are 7 rounds in one game and everyone starts with 7 cards. You alternate turns as first player, and when you are the first player, you choose one of the obstacles to try and perform a trick on. Whoever scores the most points with their trick gets to keep the obstacle, and whoever has the most obstacles at the end of the game wins. There are 3 kinds of tricks: flips, grabs, and grinds, and not every trick can be performed on every obstacle. The fun box can have everything. It's got ramps, you can jump, you can flip, you can grind, you can do whatever you want. However, the bowl cannot have flip tricks performed, so you need to decide what cards you're going to play for each trick, and fortunately, there are some very large icons that show you exactly what kind of trick it is. So when it is your turn, you choose an obstacle, you then choose a trick to perform, and then you roll the dice and see if you complete the trick. It's that easy. I have matched a shoe to a shoe, I complete the heel flip, and I get 1 point. However, this is a special kind of card that is a combo. It is both the heel flip and the lost grind in one go, so I can score a massive amount of points. Combos aren't just the points added up, it is that plus an extra point. So you can really push your luck and get more points than everyone else. So I then need to try and complete the bottom area as well. Unfortunately, I rolled a shoe. The shoe is not part of a grind trick, and I do not get those points at all, any of them. I fail that trick. If everyone fails, you pass on to the next one. If people tie for points, that is where the perfect tricks come in. There is a lovely pink skateboard on the die, and a perfect trick wins any tie. Each card has 2 tricks, so you can choose, well, okay, he's only scored 1 point. I don't need to go for the more complicated trick. I will only need to score 2. Some cards will have a ×2 symbol. You need to roll twice and match both times. So there's all these little things that you need to consider when choosing how far to push your luck and what cards to play. To save your cards for the pyramid later on, or be able to use any card right now for the quarter pipe that any trick can be used. There's all these little choices that you need to make before you roll the dice. Have your luck tested out on the skate park. You also have these wheel tokens that you need to manage, and some tricks are going to cost you wheels because they're a little bit easier to complete while still scoring you some decent points. If you ever complete a perfect trick, you'll get another wheel. Some obstacles have wheel symbols on them, and you need to be able to pay wheels to take part in that trick. If you don't have a wheel to pay because you've lost them all, well, unfortunately, you instantly lose that trick and someone else is most likely going to take it away from you. You can also spend wheels to attempt a trick again. However, you can only do that once per trick. You really need to manage that and not miss out on any future obstacles. This game is very thematic. You're constantly pushing your luck, and sometimes it's not going to go your way. Just like in skateboarding, you can try and pull off the perfect trick. You're really prepared for it. You've spent the wheels, and it just doesn't happen. But the game is over so quickly, you can just get started again, constantly pushing yourself against the other people, pushing your luck in this beautiful skateboarding game. So these are the 4 games in the Snackbox games collection from Monkey Mind Games. I've had a lot of fun with these. We're probably going to whip them out if we ever want to play a quick game when we're live streaming on twitch.tv/nerdsofthewest. And if you think these look good, check out the Kickstarter down below. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I've been Tom from Nerds of the West. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun playing games, and I'll catch you next time.